Hello everybody, welcome to another video. As you've just seen, I've been out and about this morning to gather some items to make a Christmas wreath. So we're getting into the festive spirit and we're having a few glasses of wine. And I'll bring you in now to see what I've actually managed to collect. It's up to you, you know, go out and whatever's in your area. Try and stick with winter greenery, evergreens, that kind of thing. So I'll bring you in now and we can have a look around the table. Okay, so first of all we've got some pine with the pine cones still on. Then we've got some conifer cuttings off a conifer tree. It smells beautiful, this stuff, I love it. We've got some twigs here. I've kind of gone for green wood, or the greenest wood I could find, so it will bend easier. That's for obviously making the hoop. Then we've got some marsh grass. Next we've got some ferns, which are beginning to turn a little bit, as you can see, but they are dying off at this time of the year. Next of all we've got some gorse. Still got flowers on at this time of the year. Some rose hips, and obviously it wouldn't be Christmas without a bit of holly, and there is actually a few with the berries on. So that's all the items that I've got to kind of play with. Okay, so you're going to need a few more items. These are just items that I've got lying around that I'm going to use. So a pair of scissors, obviously, a pair of secateurs for dealing with the natural items that you've got. A couple of different sizes of zip ties, I'll probably use them to make the hoop. I've got some soldering wire. You could use florist wire, or you could use the kind of single core 240 volt cable that you get in households. You could buy some of that if you've got some lying around in the shed. You just use whatever wire you've got really. And obviously we've got some good quality strong bank line as well. Okay, so as you can see, I've started to gently twist the twigs together and secure them with cable ties. I'm using a little bit of insulation tape here and there as well, but as you can see it will eventually start forming a circle. You will get bits like this that stick out. You could just either tape them down or you could cut them off, but I'll bring you back when I've got a full hoop. So I've got the hoop kind of, and all I'm doing now is getting some thinner twigs, and then starting them off with a little bit of insulation tape, just so that they hold in position. Doesn't matter about any of this because you won't see it on a finished product. And then all I'm doing is weaving them through and around and then we're just going to keep going like that. Any little bits like that I'm leaving for the time being, just snipping them down, just to make it a little bit more manageable. So yeah, we've got the makings of a hoop. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just adding some moss. Now it's better if your moss is actually dry. This stuff, however, is a little bit wet with some mud on it. So all I'm doing is getting some string and basically doing a granny knot. So once, twice, then tie it down and then do another knot and cut that off. I'm just going around the whole thing and binding it with some bank line. Like I say, it's better with dry moss, and the longer the strips of moss you can get, the better. So we're just going to move the wreath out of the way for the time being. All I've done is wired some of the conifer around it, so we've got the conifer and moss on it at the moment. It's beginning to get a little bit weighty, so I'll just move that to one side. Okay, so all I'm doing now is wiring up some of the embellishments, again using this soldering wire. Just wrap it around the end there, and then we can put them on the wreath. Okay, so I've got 6 of these wired up now. The fern is obviously on the back and the marsh grass is on the front, and I've just used a cable tie at the bottom there, some soldering wire. I'm finding the soldering wire isn't brilliant, so I may have to string these on. But yeah, there's 6 of them made, and then we're going to do some more embellishments. So I'm just wiring up the rose hips next. So the way I'm doing that is I'm actually getting the rose hip, then wrapping the wire around it a couple of times. Just gives it a little bit more purchase on the stalk, and then we can take these back, give it a couple of twists like that. Hips. So I've also sorted out the pine cones I want to use, and next of all I'll be sorting out the holly. Right, so all I'm doing with the holly is just snipping some of the leaves off at the bottom to give me a little bit of a stalk to work with. Right, okay, because of the amount that I'm now making on YouTube, because I'm monetarised, I can now afford to have a hired hand, and that hired hand is drying out the back of the wreath. In all seriousness, basically there's a lot of moisture in the moss, so we're just trying to dry it out a little bit with a hairdryer, obviously, just so it doesn't mark any walls, draw any moisture, or leave like mouldings when it's taken down, that kind of thing. So we turned the wreath upside down, just try and dry the back of it a little bit. Right, before I go any further with it, all I've done is made a loop out of the bank line and decided where roughly the middle is. So all I'm going to do is pass this underneath. It may not be even big enough, this loop. And then that's where it's hung from. So what I'm going to do actually, so I know that is marked, I'm just going to put some tape on it, because once we start building the wreath up, you won't be able to see this bit. So if I just put a bit of tape on it there, that's well marked now. We know which is the top. So the next thing I'm going to do is, like I say, I've got a big bag of spruce boughs, pine, so we're going to put some of that onto the wreath now. Right, the wreath is almost done. We're going to put some embellishments on. I've started doing that. I've put some of the gauze, some of the pine cones, and some of the marsh grass on it, and I've got more marsh grass down here. Basically all I'm doing is kind of, so we know where the end is, it's there, where the top is, sorry, it's there. So all I'm trying to do is embellish and make it just lie right, you know what I mean? There's no art to this kind of thing, it's how you see it as. And then if you can get that around there, roughly symmetrical. Twist the wires and then lay that over there. And then last of all, I'm going to put the berries on last of all, because we want them to be kind of poking out with no wire showing. I've got one more kind of gauze flower to use, and I've got a few more pine cones now. I might just split these down and have them kind of inside. But yeah, it's a work in progress. There's no hard and fast rules, you make it your own. So I'll bring you back in a minute.